Hey
Yeah,
everybody.
it's
Are you
live
on
stream
YouTube?
on YouTube. Yes.
Okay.
Oof.
Did it stop?
It says it's streaming now.
Hold on, I have to turn
live.
down the volume. Oh, jeez. Do I have to turn it off? Stop. Shoot. How did I do that last time?
It says it's streaming now.
You just mute it on the actual website.
Oh, jeez. It's hilarious.
Absolutely.
Hold on.
Mute it on the actual website.
It is muted. Oh, wait, maybe it's YouTube. It's hilarious.
Absolutely.
Hold on. Oh, where is it? I have too many windows open.
Okay.
Where is it? Oh, wait, maybe it's Facebook. Oh, there it is. Okay, I found it.
Oh my God.
Hey everybody watching us live. We're like, a bit
over
on slow.
here.
A bit on slow.
Many windows.
Yeah. Too much
All right,
going on
no
for
more.
us.
Okay, now I got to start recording. You ready?
Yay! We're ready for you, everybody.
Okay.
Hey
Amazing.
everybody, welcome back to Heal Yourself Naturally. I am so happy to be back. Sorry I missed our last podcast. I had wireless difficulties. Nothing was working. My cell service, my internet service, everything went down in the house, but I'm so happy to be back. I know that our lovely healers took care of you. You guys got a lot covered last time in regards to dental health and mouth health and whatnot. We are finishing off our series on the head today. So again, for anybody who is just, watching us for the first time now, here at Heal Yourself Naturally, we have kind of broken down our podcast. We're zeroing on different parts of the body and really getting in depth. You can rewatch all of our previous episodes either on our Facebook, YouTube channel, or on Spotify. Please share with your friends and family any one of the episodes or all the episodes. Honestly, we really appreciate your support. But again, today we're finishing off our head discussion. We talked about hair, brain health, nose, sinuses, eyes, mouth, and now we're going down to our lovely neck and throat. And yeah, our neck and throat we're discussing today. I know you're pointing out your décolletage. So we're discussing our neck and throat today. We have so much to cover. So let's talk about one of the most common issues, right? That everybody has experienced in their life, which is a sore throat. Sore throat or some type of infection in the throat or tonsils. We'll just go into sore throat first. It's easily taken care of, easily cured, something that you can do to take care of your body so that you don't have further issues like an infection and then it travels to the rest of the body. So let's talk about sore throat. Sarah, what are some quick tips if someone comes to you with a sore throat? Like, what do you suggest to them?
Well, I usually ask why they have a sore throat. I want to make sure if it's from a cold, that's a different reason than, say, if someone has reoccurring, like acid reflux can give you a sore throat, or if you, if you're yelling at a concert or a sports game or something. But I suppose it would be similar
Treatments, yeah.
similar treatments, except for the GERD piece is different. But well, I suggest there's some really simple remedies for sore throats. And one, well, I make a sore throat spray and it has several herbs in there, but one in particular is sage, garden sage. And garden sage is, it's not just for turkey stuffing or, it's not just for your pasta sauce or whatever. So I suggest just a simple cup of sage tea. And most people have that in their house.
Right.
So you just put a teaspoon of dried sage, you kind of break it up, a teaspoon in a tea ball or a muslin bag, or if you don't have any of that, you just put it in your teacup, put hot water over it, let it steep for 5 minutes or so. You can strain out the herb if you don't have a tea ball or anything and just sip it. And then you can do that.
What about with the fresh herb? Let's say a lot of people grow it in their home gardens. So with the fresh one, you would just use more of it?
Yeah, you could use a little bit more. Yeah, because it doesn't infuse quite as well when it's
Yeah.
dried, of course, because because the
Right.
water kind of competes with each other. But
Right.
it's certainly you will get some of the benefits for sure. So
Right.
you could take, a small, like maybe 4 or 5 leaves, smush them up, put it in your hot water, cap it, of course, and
Right.
then let it steep for a while.
There's
Yeah,
that
it's
wonderful
really nice.
trick of like, if you do have a fresh herb rather than the dried one, if you lay it on your palm and then give it a nice tap or slap so it releases the oils more
Yeah, you
and
can
so
smush it.
crumble it up.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you gotta
Right.
bruise it, kind of like when you're making a mojito.
Right.
You can
Get
make a
that
sage
flavor.
mojito.
Get
Get
that
your
flavor out of it.
get your what do you call it?
Mortar and pestle.
Yeah, or what do they call it when they
The smasher.
mulling it? No, I don't know what the hell they call it, but whatever.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna think about that this
Model.
whole
It's
podcast.
model.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
I'm
model
like,
your
now,
mojito.
now I want a margarita, damn it.
I know. I want a mojito.
I want both. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So,
that's
okay.
like that's a simple thing for people to do.
And one of the most common things also, just like a teaspoon of honey, right?
Oh yeah.
Have it coat your throat, something to coat and soothe your throat.
Yep.
So I love that. Sage and honey, everybody has it, or they should have it at home. All right, Hava, let's bring it to you. What would
Oh,
you suggest for a sore
Did I
throat?
take your answer, Hava?
yes, please.
No. She said, did she take your answer? I think I know
Did
your
I take
answer
your
already.
No. Oh no, I've heard that you said like, should you answer instead, because probably you already know what I will answer. So I'm like, yeah, sure.
I know what you're gonna answer. Let's see. I want to see if
Well,
I
it
know you.
depends obviously on the pain, right? If it's a severe pain, or if it's not, so if it's infection, so
No, we're just talking about like a simple case, like Sarah
right.
mentioned. Okay, there's different reasons why you get a sore throat. We get that. What can we do to alleviate the soreness and scratchiness of a
Right.
sore throat? Right.
Exactly, but it also depends on the treatment as well. If you open your mouth and you see like white dots inside, then the treatment will be a little bit different than.
Well, yeah, we can get into strep later.
No,
Right,
we'll get
but
into
overall-
strep and tonsillitis, but
Right, but yeah, but overall, for any sore throat, I would suggest soothing, like honey you mentioned. My next one is cayenne. And you might say, why cayenne? Because the cayenne helps to bring in new blood over the area, helps to stimulate and, bring in fighters to start fight. And also cayenne helps to reduce the pain. Once it's burning, you're not feeling the pain if you are suffering from throat pain. And then my next one is obviously is garlic. That's why I said everyone knows my answers, but the garlic is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I found the garlic with a little bit honey and the cayenne together will kind of cover most of the throat issues. And then other things is slippery elm, marshmallow root are very good. They're also soothing and helping. Also flaxseed tea, also very good. Like
Right.
You can gargle.
Gurgle, yeah.
Yeah.
So anything that has that causes like a
Aloe
mucousy
vera.
layer, right?
Yeah,
Mucilage.
Yeah, exactly.
Mucilaginous.
Exactly. So all those, so aloe vera is also good. And if you're stuck in a place where you have nothing and all what you have is just let's say a warm cup of water, and so then just drink herbal tea, like even simple like a raspberry leaf if you can find, or some, or go to the health food store, I mean whatever, like it just depends. But I would just drink some warm honey with some lemon, and that's it, just the honey with lemon, and that's it. So if you're stuck in your hotel and you start feeling a pain, honey, they're always available. Now don't start digging from where the honey comes because for sure it's not coming from the good source, but doesn't matter. And then just squeeze some lemon and just drink and gargle it. And salty water, we forgot about that too. Some salt.
Right.
All these are antibacterial. They help very much. And sage is amazing. I actually made a video once when I lost my voice, but still wanted to record the video. And I prepared the sage tea. I'm like,
right. So it can even do great for when you're losing your voice. So like Sarah mentioned, like, does someone have a sore throat from screaming at a concert, or just, you know, some people lose their voice much easier than others from overly speaking or whatever. So some of the simple things, you could even make a sage tea with some honey. I feel like that would work wonders.
It's interesting that in reality, what I learned from Dr. Christopher once, that he learned this from a chief that the best way to serve sage is in a cold infusion. It's actually getting.
I wonder why that is. There's so many terpenes in there.
I don't know. He said actually the only herb that he learned from the chief that he would infuse, the only
what kind of chief, like a Native American chief?
Native American chief, yeah, that like, yeah. So I remember in the story that he would mention this, and he said that's the only thing that people don't know, but the sage should be infused in the cold. So I would say we can find the middle.
To be infused in cold or to be consumed cold?
I mean, no, infused in cold.
Which takes a long time.
A long time, right?
And then
over a day.
I tell you what I found to do is, if we put some sage a little bit, right, the infusion, and then you add hot water on top. It's a very strong herb by the end, right? It's a very strong. So
absolutely delicious though. Oh my God, I love sage.
I mean, I tell you honestly, I drink sage. If I drink sage tea, it's like, oh yeah, I have to drink. But
well, that's why I suggest
strong flavor.
It's
very strong. It's a very strong. It's like peppermint and mint can do the same thing. If you infuse it, a very strong infusion, you will end up with a very strong peppermint tea. So it might
become bitter. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Right. So we mentioned so many things. Let's
go over. Yeah. So the idea. Okay.
Yeah. Go.
No, I was just going to say the idea is, you know, antibacterial and astringent. Both of those actions together really help with killing the bacteria and tightening up the tissues, so it starts to alleviate the pain.
Right.
But yeah, go ahead with your laundry list. Yeah.
Actually, the laundry, right? So, well, one more thing that I actually will add to it: don't forget to work outside on your neck as well. So if you have a pain, not just work internally, but also stimulate, massage it, you know. And sometimes we forget about that, and only we think how to take it, but also sometimes just, you know, working on the neck area and, you know, creating circulation will help alleviate the pain. Another thing I found is application of a warm like you
compress.
can a warm compress. You can use also the same herbs. You can use marshmallow, you can use mullein, you can even just use castor oil pack and apply, and then put a hot bottle over, and then take it and put some cold, put it back. That's hot, nice. Create circulation. Yeah. So we covered a lot about this neck.
Did.
Yeah,
we did. And some of the things you mentioned are also great for when developing like an infection. So let's go into infections and the different types of infections that you can get. One of them being tonsillitis, or an infection from strep, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the most effective First of all, let's talk about strep and what people do wrong when they get diagnosed for strep. I want people to understand what strep is and why it is so bad to take an antibiotic for strep throat. Sarah, let's go to you. I want you to really break down what strep is. And you
Yeah,
know,
so
there's a misconception on there's different types of strep, which they don't test for which type you have, but they give you an antibiotic right away. Let's talk about that.
yeah, so I'm not too knowledgeable about the different strains, although I do know there's easier strains to kill off and there's more resistant strains and things like that. But there's a whole other level to the strep infections as well. And I kind of know it pretty well because when I was a kid, I would get strep all the time and I'd pass it on to people and not get sick. So I was considered a carrier. I don't really know if that exists or not. But
You're just asymptomatic, yeah.
that's what I was told. And coincidentally, I was that kid that always had, I have the asthma and the allergies and all that. And I mean, I chalk it up to maybe my immune system wasn't quite up to par, so it couldn't clear it all the way. And then I was just giving it to people. And so I was on antibiotics a lot as a child, which again is that vicious cycle of I already had the allergies and all that crap going on, and we're just making it worse every time I got strep. So that isn't what you don't want to do, is continue that cycle of antibiotics. And I've helped people with strep a lot. And it's very, very treatable with herbs. So what I do internally is I'll do like some nice immune boosters and stimulants. So definitely my medicinal mushrooms. And I'm doing antimicrobials in a spray and in a tincture. So I'm not throwing the book at it, but it's certainly something you want to get rid of. And I have people take these things for at least 10 days. So be good about it for 10 days. And so things like golden seal or Oregon grapefruit, barberry, barberry, they have the berberine in them. Excellent for strep. Anything on the mucous membranes, it'll kill. Echinacea in a tincture for the immune system. But I use a spray, a topical spray, like in your throat. Make sure it goes way back in there. And what I have in there is the golden seal. Excuse me. I have a little marshmallow to help soothe. What else is in there? We just bottled a bunch of it up. Bee propolis. Very antimicrobial. Yep. That is an excellent addition. Oh, and the sage is in there too. An excellent addition. And
is that your sore throat spray that you mentioned?
Yeah. Yep. But it's also for strep.
Right. It's antimicrobial.
Yeah. We're spraying several times a day. And we're taking a tincture several times a day with immune support, antimicrobials, and it just clears strep. It just does. I've never had anybody come back and say it came back. And as far as I know, thank you, Wendy. Here's the recipe right here. And the antibiotics is a vicious cycle, because every time you go on antibiotics, obviously you're killing off your good gut flora, your gut bugs. And what I never really realized until a few years ago is that the more you go on antibiotics, the higher your risk of cancer is.
Yes, it is.
And it's not that doctors don't know this, but and I suppose it's not something they want to tell everybody either. But it's not a good thing to keep going on these antibiotics. So you can. Oh, okay. So this is my recipe for the sore throat spray. It's golden seal, echinacea, calendula, sage, licorice, spilanthes, just because it kind of numbs it a little bit. And St. John's wort I use for the pain as well, to numb it, because it's really nice for pain. And the propolis. And I put it in a spray bottle and I say spray, at least 6 times a day with the extract, and that's what I do. And it's very treatable.
Right. And especially when you're boosting your immune system, obviously you need to take care of your gut while doing so. Right. That goes
Right.
That's a given, goes without saying, but we have to mention it because, there's some people viewing this that haven't been here before. And on most of our podcasts, we talk about how important gut health is. So making sure you have regular bowel movements and keeping extremely hydrated, avoiding, especially during treatments, foods that are not wholesome. So wholesome foods, i.e. fruits, vegetables. Yes, you can have grains, just things that you make fresh, nothing processed, no heavily processed sugars,
And you can
etc.
even make which would be nice too for strep, is make the elderberry ice pops that I think you mentioned those last time, Hava. Or making like the tea. You could make a nice vitamin C tea with rose hips and hibiscus, and then you can make little pops. And then if it's a child, I suppose, or an adult, I mean, adults like
even an
ice
adult,
pops
it's
too.
very soothing, especially when you
Very
have
soothing.
something like that. Yeah. So, but
Yeah.
you want to make sure that you are extremely hydrated. That's like a
Yes.
huge thing, especially when you're fighting off an infection. Your body needs that hydration in order to, when you're more dried up, it's easier for the
Right.
bacteria to grow. So, yes, I love those suggestions. Hava, what can you embark on our viewers about strep throat, about, first of all, like also taking antibiotics for it? I know I've heard from you about so many patients that have had brought their, clients that have brought their children in after being on antibiotics multiple times for strep, and it's just so much harder for the child to get rid of it. What do you have to suggest to people?
Well, now if it's two different ways. If we work on children or we work on adults. So you asked about children.
Both.
Well, adults easy can take strong herbs. Like I also have antiseptic formula, which is a very strong one, and you just mix it with some honey and you can chug it down. It's absolutely spicy. And
oh my God, it's horrible.
Crazy.
But I've
when
given
I
it
see
to
your
my
eyes,
child.
blah, 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 but it works like a miracle. It's like, okay, but if it's a child, you cannot give it to the child. So in that case, what I
gave it to my son once on accident.
That's
So
good.
And I should say, can I just say too that
Yes.
the golden seal should not be given to children under 12, 6 or 12 or something. I don't give little kids golden seal. So
even diluted?
because it's such a central nervous system stimulant that I
it
don't
is.
risk it. Yeah.
It's actually one of those things that, thank you, Sarah, for saying, because many times people, by watching a quick video,
YouTube video, reel or something, right?
on the TikToks, and many are just saying, "Oh, I heal my child, blah blah blah, by using golden seal." So thank you for reminding. We said that we're gonna speak about that. Yeah. So I would not even also give golden seal unless it's diluted, comes with other herbs, but not that it's a golden seal and you just start giving. Because I've had the cases of someone who would give for UTI for like 4-year-old or even I think even 3.5-year-old child, and would give golden seal like few times a day, and I'm like, what the hell? What do you mean?
They're doing this with the colloidal silver too, silver and golden seal together. I'm like,
right,
it's horrifying to me.
So at least I would say colloidal silver will not harm as much as, but golden seal, it's very strong, and I feel that it's not good for the child. So if it comes in combination, okay. But let's be honest, children don't like anything spicy, and they will have and if when they sick, they are very I would say not in the mood, and they don't want to. Oh, thank you. So I would suggest in that case just mix some honey with some cinnamon, and what you can do is you can also prepare a steamed or cooked pears, and you can put cloves inside, so that way the sauce will be kind of, you know, infused with these herbs, and you can give it, and it's very soothing and helping, and it's also fights, and the children are less picky in that case. Then the next, obviously, giving them quick immune boost, which is echinacea, right? But I would strongly suggest that you should really be on top of it and not give once a day. If your child going through something, you don't see it and, oh, we're just going to give once a day, because in that case you're not going to see a result. And in children, you need to boost it quickly so the immune system will kick in. So that's another thing that I would suggest. Then I also would, again, working on the outside, you know, rubbing and stuff like that. Then I also would work from the bottom of the feet, because as I said before, children are sometimes very picky. They don't. So you can apply a garlic poultice from their feet, and the garlic will travel up and will start helping to fight an infection. So that's another wonderful way to do it. Now, many times people are afraid, oh, they will cause this disease where many people died from it. I forgot even the name of it, but it's like
Scarlet fever?
yes, and they also will
Oh,
cause
no,
heart damage. No, heart
rheumatic fever.
Exactly.
Right?
Rheumatic.
Yeah,
So in that case, let's put straight, let's get rid of this nonsense right away. We have an amazing doctor, Dr. Mendelsohn, who wrote many books about the children and children's health. And he been in this business for what, 40 years, and he said he maybe saw one case of rheumatic fever. So that's something that it's such uncommon. So when people are saying, oh, we this is what happened, that's probably, it's not that, and because most people and doctors never seen it. So let's remove this issue even from, you know, fear tactic mode, is because that's one of the fear tactics that I hear all day long. Oh my gosh, they tested for the strep right away, antibiotics. Oh, don't fall as a trap. Now, the next thing that I would suggest is herbal vitamin C. You can make as a candies. You can also give us in a powder, mix in some juice, and let him chug it down. Then another thing that I would suggest, soups. Now give a soup, and in the soup before serving, crush some garlic. So now you are actually pushing more garlic also internally. And when the children are picky, they're not going to really feel. And chicken soup is incredible, absolutely delicious. And I would suggest that. And it's very soothing as well. So yeah, so those are amazing things that I would suggest. But yes, as soon the child goes to one round of antibiotics because of the sore throat or because of this test, he weakens his immune system. And each round of antibiotics, it's reducing the immune system to lower, and then the bad guys will have a chance to settle in the gut flora. And then and what I usually say, okay, you gave him one time antibiotic. Did you restore the gut flora? In most cases, they don't have time to restore because it comes back. Right? The neck, your throat pain, if that's like it comes back. So if you went to this round, your child had their throat in pain, and you did a swab test, and they said rheumatic fever, antibiotics. You went in this rabbit hole once. After about a week or 2 weeks, it will come back after you finishing antibiotics. Okay. So
in
now,
most cases, yes.
in most cases, it's like I've seen this 100 times. Then you fall again. Oh my gosh, it's much stronger. We must give him again. Then it's a second round. It's much deeper. Now, remember, with each course of antibiotics, 6 months to restore the gut flora. So now we end up with such a big problem that the bad guys will have a chance to settle in the areas that were not allowed to. So we're actually causing more harm and more damage. So in that case, I would suggest work strongly by providing probiotics, and probiotics should be in a very high quality. And the most important is that they need to really Give couple times a day. Only one time probiotic is not enough. And that's why we work with the mother of probiotics. And the way she tells me all the time, Hava, at least 3 or 4 times a day, probiotics should be given. And we actually live in a society where we think, oh, one time probiotic and I'm done. No, it's not that fun. You need to restore the flora. And if your child is sick and if you gave them 3 or 4 rounds of antibiotics, it's oy vey. It's a very dangerous. And what Sarah said, it's absolutely correct, because those 4 times or 3 times the child took antibiotics, what about next year? Next year, maybe again it will come back and will be more stronger. Then you're going to give again. Then let's say teenage years, you're going to give again antibiotic for some reason, ear infection, dental infection. That's a new thing. Everything that causes with dentists, they right away antibiotic, right? And then you will end up really destroying your child's life. And that's why what we have now, as Sarah mentioned, the children who are already at age, and they're not children, but at age 20, 25, they already have diseases. And what kind of disease? Those diseases like cancer and all those stuff. Why? Because we allow that. We allow this to happen.
Yeah, and I want to mention too, PANS and PANDAS. These are modern diseases that are associated with a streptococcus infection that has gone in systemic. I mean, the etiology or the way it happens in the body, I can't really tell you, like right now, just off the cuff. But
What
I
is
do
PANS
know
and PANDAS? I've never heard of that.
yeah, and it's a psychiatric disorder, actually. And
Mm.
it's similar to like, it kind of resembles like maybe an Asperger's or even an autism, but it's different. And they crash. Like it's just such an odd thing, but they've associated it with an unresolved strep infection.
Right.
So this is, to me, it's either the strep is in the
Yeah.
we're live. We don't want to say too much. So it's either contaminated in those injections or it's already in their bodies brewing. Maybe they got injected when they were sick. Something is going on with that. So I just want to mention that too.
Yeah.
So I don't know
Wow.
if it's repeated antibiotics or creating super strains, or there's some kind of multi-layered thing going on, but
Well, I can definitely say that strep back in the day compared to strep now is a different type of beast, right? Because of mostly people treating it with antibiotics
Yep.
for their children. And then, like Hava mentioned, it comes back typically within 2 weeks to a month time. And then it comes back stronger and another round stronger. And so when they pass it to other people, it's a really strong strain. It's not a joke. So it can be easily treated naturally, like very easily in a sense where you are not causing your body harm. I'm saying, you know what I mean? Yes, healing anything naturally is more work in a sense because you have to take things more often, be more mindful of what you are putting in your body, really take care of your physical health as well as your mental health, because you have to really be strong willed and minded to take this type of approach, right?
Sure.
It's not just, oh, I saw fun reel or like a TikTok, whatever people are watching nowadays. And like, I'm going to take yada, yada, yada. And I've heard some things from, people around me where I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. Yes, I've heard of this being used for such and such, whatever, whatever. But like, work with an herbalist. It won't kill you to spend a little bit of money to really learn if what you're doing is correct, because it may have worked for someone, but they're not telling you the full story. They're not telling you exactly what they took, how they took it, when they took it. what their lifestyle was like, et cetera, et cetera. You're just watching literally a 30-second reel where at the end of the day, it explains nothing. It just gives you a name of something. And you're like, this is the answer to all answers. This is the key. So yes, please, people, um, something like these types of infections in the body, and treating a viral infection with an antibiotic. I mean,
Dumb.
doesn't
Yeah.
make sense. It's not a bacteria. Like, hello.
But that's
Hello.
again, that's a fear. It's a fear, and
It is a fear.
fear,
Yes, it is a
Absolutely,
fear.
it's fear.
Your child is gonna die because they have strep throat. Get that out of your head. They're not gonna die.
Well, this is what we've all been, just like, with the rheumatic fever. It's like, oh, you got to take your antibiotics. We don't want to get rheumatic fever, which is all, I mean, even when I was a kid, that was the thing, that
Yeah.
was
Right.
drilled into you. But so you're absolutely right, Kava. There's so much fear around any sickness, anything. People just run to
Right.
the doctor and want to take a pill and want to be done with it. And we have to just, and that's, again, we mentioned this probably every time we do this, is that we are giving this information so people perhaps will step down from the fear and just realize that 99.99999% of the time when you get sick or you have something going on, it's not going to kill you. And there's usually interventions that can be had that are accessible, and it doesn't have anything to do with a doctor.
Right.
So.
Right. This is why we talk. That's why the title of this podcast is Heal Yourself Naturally. Most, if not all things, I mean, everything is curable. It's just the mindset also that you put yourself in, your lifestyle, and are you willing to change all of that
That's right.
in order to make it happen? So, yes, I also, well, Hava, you mentioned like treatments for children. They're very similar to ones for adults. Do you want to add on to anything for adults before
Well,
we
for
move
the
on?
adult, I would just give just a stronger herbs, right? What Sarah
Right.
has a very
Golden seal,
good
right.
practice. So it's no, it's a the one that I have is a combination of it's very strong and very potent, and it works incredibly. But what I have inside is oak bark, golden seal, and garlic and comfrey a little bit for rebuilding. Then I also have more cayenne, and I also add olive leaves. So it's like a combination of many things. And I found this works instantly, but it's such a spicy one. So
So spicy.
what I found that you can mix it with some honey and just take it. But if you want to deal with it quickly, just put really right there on the areas where you feel the pain, and it kind of will numb but really heal. And another wonderful thing that's also Sarah mentioned prior is the propolis. You can go to your local honey beekeeper and get from him a propolis in a powder, and you can actually take the honey and the propolis, mix it together in the small quantities, but and take it. One thing that I want to just say for everyone who are listening, when you work on the throat pain, if you want to heal it fast, that means you really have to work every hour on it. You have to sit you have to take every hour, not when you're sleeping. At night, sleeping is a time for healing, for rebuilding. But I'm saying walking hours. Every walking hour, I would treat it. I would not just let it just like, oh, I took once and then, because when you really doing aggressively, you don't allow the bacteria or whatever it is to even think. And you basically give the body opportunity, you give the tools, and the body is doing what it's designed to do. Okay. And very important thing is that I found that most times people who have a throat pain, they're not pooping correctly. Okay. So that
Right.
can be a combination, a stagnant down there, stagnant up here. It's how it usually goes. And one of the first questions I would always ask, if did you go to the bathroom? Most times people would say no. So this is as soon the person will start moving the bowels, the faster the healing will come also.
Yeah, I agree. I can speak firsthand. Every time I get a sore throat or something, or I feel like some kind of infection starting, I'm like all of a sudden my body, I can't go to the bathroom. First thing I do is I take care of that issue, and then I work on soothing. and then also boosting my immune system. In most cases, all I have to do is boost my immune system constantly, like you mentioned, and then my body does its own thing and can get rid of it like on its own. If not, then I add some, antimicrobial herbs to fight off the infection.
Oh, one more thing, let me add it. Iodine, infinite iodine or nascent iodine, spray it inside. It's also a fast killer. So if you don't have anything from what we just mentioned, but you do have iodine, then just use iodine,
Yeah. I love that suggestion. And iodine, we know, takes care of a lot of things in your throat, like your adrenal glands. That I don't think we'll ever have enough time to discuss in this hour-long podcast, as well as other things. So we're not going to mention that today. We will do a whole podcast on that. So let's talk about. I would say that tonsillitis is very similar in treatment to strep. Would you agree, Hava?
I mean, yes, but you also want to find what is the cause.
Right.
Sometimes it can be too much alcohol in the system, huh? Sometimes it can be some allergy that causes it. There's many things, right? They can. So while it's similar, maybe in the treatment, but it will be a much prolonged treatment. But you need really to find the cause. It's not like one time somebody sneezed and I come and then I have to. No, it's something was building up.
Right.
And because they are the gates, they are they're keeping. And I know, like a whole family, they would get such a severe tone. Oh my goodness! Well, this just shows you there is some sort of imbalance in the gut flora that needs to be addressed immediately.
Right. So just too much toxicity in the body, or consumption of just anything that's toxic, and your tonsils are overworked. But in terms of like boosting the immune system, a lot of the herbs that you both mentioned, in order to clear the infection in the tonsils, yes, we have to get down to the root cause. I totally agree with you. But I'm talking about in terms of treatment for the symptom.
I think the difference that I look at it differently because it's actually in the gland as opposed to on the gland.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I'd be doing more lymphatic movers, and especially wondering how the drainage in the ears are, because I feel like when it's mostly kids that get this tonsillitis, and it's almost like an unresolved bacteria that their bodies can't clear after injections. Those injections that we don't talk about.
Yeah.
But I also, and it speaks to a dairy sensitivity, and it's hard to drain this whole area with the smaller Eustachian tubes and stuff. So I'd be using more lymphatic movers like calendula, red clover, maybe even self-heal, cleavers, so I would add that to all the other things that we discussed, because
as well as Hava mentioned multiple times throughout this entire podcast, is when you're treating the throat, internal as well as external. So in that case, getting the lymph nodes to drain. So
and
so
then
working
doing this,
right, working on a downward motion,
and
opening
the ear,
right, and then opening over here where it's releasing. So you're going to have to work this area as well. Kind of right underneath your collarbone, towards your shoulder, near your armpit. Yeah, right here.
And wouldn't that be nice to use like an infused oil with calendula and clover and
right,
yeah, or even a garlic oil.
Garlic, or leave a little poke oil would be nice to just.
If you're someone that has like a Mullen garlic oil at home, I know that when my kids have a sore throat or a cough or anything like that, I know that the glands are being overworked. So when they were very young, and I'm talking about the ones that got all the fun stuff at the doctor. So I would take that Mullen garlic oil just because I always had it on hand, and I would massage this area using also the addition of like a cayenne or like a hot and cold treatment.
Mm.
And then I would, make sure to really massage it in there, especially behind the ears, like you mentioned, where all those glands are. Um, and then I saw results very quickly,
Mm.
especially because when you're working with an illness, whatever the illness might be, cut the crap out of your diet, drink a lot of fluids. Don't expect, oh, my child's not feeling good. I need to give them, like, they only want McDonald's or whatever crap. I don't know what people are feeding their kids nowadays. But they're only eating crackers. Like, okay, so starve them. Not literally, but meaning don't have it around. And then when you serve them a piece of fruit, they're pouncing on it,
Right.
right?
Well, I think I don't want to seem too judgy here, but I think because I have had I have children. So
I have a picky child that is like, I have to
the
like
thing is you
gun,
have to decide as a parent who's in charge, right?
right?
And I think it's super hard for a lot of people because they're busy and they have to, they work a lot and food is just something they don't want to fight about. But to me, it's like, don't fight about it.
Right.
You make, if mommy cooks or daddy cooks or whoever cooks, you make one meal. If Susie doesn't like it, then she can eat what she likes and not eat what she doesn't like. But what I always did with my kids is if you say you don't like something, that's fine, but you have to taste it every time it's on your plate.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
You have to taste it every time. And then
Mm-hmm.
and I've done this with both of my girls, and I can say that they pretty much eat everything now, except my youngest still doesn't like beans. Like even when she was little, she'd pop them out of her mouth. She
Probably a
hates beans.
probably a textural
It
thing
is,
for her
and
then.
she
Yeah.
still hates beans to this day, although if it's in something, she'll eat it, but she still doesn't like it. So that to me is a true dislike.
Right.
Yeah.
She's gone 18 years and she still doesn't like them. She probably isn't going to like them. So, but
Right.
put a little on their plate every time. I know you don't like broccoli, but you're just going to taste it. You're going to taste
Yeah.
it again.
There's the psychology behind it, not even just for children, but also for adults. After 20 consecutive days of eating something, even just trying it every time, your
Yeah.
body will build a liking to it. Your mind will say, okay, this is actually good.
Yeah.
So it's just about consistency. And we've mentioned it so many times. People think that buying those processed meals or those frozen meals and stuff is cheaper than making it on your own, but it's actually not. Yes, it's time consuming, but if you prep ahead or learn how to make easier dishes with fresh fruits and vegetables and fresh meats, or any kind of poultry or fish, then you're actually really benefiting. Not only is your wallet benefiting, but your health is absolutely benefiting. So please, 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 please remember that, especially when fighting off an illness, a cold or a flu, and then that brings on some type of infection in the throat. You got to eat well.
Absolutely.
You have to. Yeah, you have to eat well, and it has to be verbalized with your children. Like, okay, they don't want to eat, then fine, then don't offer them something in a half an hour that they get from the pantry as a snack. You don't want to eat, right? You have to
Right.
explain to them. You don't. Okay, so let's bring your meal back out. Don't throw it out. Don't get discouraged by them saying they don't want it. Try again.
Right.
Also with an adult. And we also feel like, oh, my child's sick, they have to eat, they have to eat. But think about it, when you are sick and fighting off an infection, in most cases, you don't want to eat. Why? Because the body is telling you, I don't need extra garbage in my body right now. Just give me liquids, give me these healing herbs. And when I get hungry, I'll notify you, right? So we just try to push food down our children's throat when they're ill, when really we don't think about it, and when we're sick, we're not hungry, but that's because the body is saying we don't need food right now. We need nutrients. We need something to help us fight this. We don't need for you to put more processed garbage or stuff with pesticides. It's going to be like, oh my gosh, an overload. It's enough for me. I don't need to fight more things. right?
I would also just say add to that. As you know, I like to be always kind of on more on the safe side in the center. And many times I found, oh, either people are upset that their children not eating and are forcing them to eat, or they're not giving them food at all. That's also
Right.
not smart.
Right.
You know, there's many times. I just had recently a case of someone who didn't eat for 4 days. Obviously, if the person is not eating for 3 or 4 days, that's not a good approach. That's not what we mean. We always need to give a soups. We always want to provide a fresh cut vegetable. I mean, not mainly more fruits, fresh cut fruits. Once you cut a fruit in front of the child or peel a cucumber, you'll see the child will automatically the hand will come. But it's not, when we're saying not to give them a food, meaning don't give them a food that might harm them in a way,
Right.
like donuts, and let's have a bowl of cereal. Oh, my poor baby, you should have a, actually when I was young, I would love to get sick because my grandma would prepare a special meals. She would prepare a chicken soup, then she would in the morning she would prepare like a kasha that was like a Russian style kasha, and it's like huge bulk of butter inside and some honey on top, and like I'm gonna go now prepare it. But see, but it was just a special meal, and there was a times that you feel you don't want to eat, but she would cut some apples, some oranges, some figs, something what's now in season, and the children would eat. So yes, you always have to, but activate
Monitor,
your
right.
monitor, look, don't just follow
No, thanks for
blindly.
that, clearing that up. I
Yeah.
didn't mean starve your
I
children. I
know,
mean,
no, I'm telling you,
yeah.
I'm just saying that many people now they learned about this trick, but now they do an opposite. So we want to be on the safe side. Always
Right.
be
No extreme, right? Don't uphold
Right.
food from a person for 3 to 4 days when they're fighting an illness.
Right.
We're talking
for some
about
reason,
feeding.
people think it's
We're
okay.
we're talking about feeding people or yourself nutritious foods and not overeating, especially if you're not moving your bowels, right? It's so important to think about that. Don't overeat when you're not emptying, because you don't want to add on to it. You want to like be able to empty and add nutritious food into your diet. Okay, we have briefly just a little bit more time for a couple more things. Let's talk about adenoids.
You want to talk about the energetics of the throat first?
Oh my God, I'd love that, because then we don't have time for anything. But I love learning about the Reiki. Not like I love that we don't have time. I love learning about the Reiki part. No, I was telling someone about it. I was like, I'm going to go get some Reiki done. Like, I wonder what the hell this is. But yeah, please talk about that.
If you ever come to the East Coast, you should come for a Reiki session.
Yeah.
Because I do a shamanic Reiki, so it's a little woo-woo for some people, but I am a psychic medium, so I do see. And there's a lot we hold in our bodies, and there's a lot we hold when we go out of our house every day, whatever's on our mind, right? So if you know the chakra system, we have 7 major chakras. The throat chakra sits right about here. It spins the color blue, and it's really the seat of communication. It's also coincidentally where the thyroid is. So, I mean, we could talk about the thyroid next time.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's a whole hour, honestly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so many people have thyroid issues, especially women.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I think energetically that makes sense, because we know that we are, as women, interrupted more often than men. And it's the men that interrupt us more than anyone.
Yes.
So being talked over a lot, not speaking our truth, holding things in that should be said. So that's like a closed throat chakra, and I can usually feel that in Reiki. It's like, hello, anything in there? The energy is very tight. It's depressed. And it usually I can feel pressure down on the lungs. There's sometimes lung issues with that. There's the constant swallowing or throat clearing that's involved with that. And usually I see a depressed throat chakra, which means you're not speaking enough. So if something, and usually this is in relationships, so they're not speaking in relationship, or even just in general, you know, with people. Like some people are very closed-lipped. They don't want to speak their opinions, or
They're non-confrontational.
they're non-confrontational, they're non-communicative. But
Right.
then there's the other end,
Right.
which the throat chakra is wide open, and some people just need to shh. Because then there's a nervousness about not having silence, you know, having to just constantly talk. And some people just have the gift of gab. And I tell this story a lot to people. You know, that person in your life where all they have to say is, you know, I went into the refrigerator and I was going to grab the butter, but there's no butter. But instead they say, well, I went to the refrigerator and I looked down on the floor and I saw a bug and I screamed and I yelled and I jumped and I went to find a piece of paper where I could put the bug in a cup, and I went and I tried to do it. And then I walked over and the bug went away and it flew away. And then I went over to the window and I saw a bird and the bird was flying away. And I'm like, maybe the bird wants the bug. I don't know. And pretty soon you're just like, what's the story about? And the story is about not having butter. So, you know, the people.
Yep.
So that's just like a throat chakra that you're just like, okay, you need to like discern what information people want to hear and what information people don't want to hear. And so that's the basics of the throat chakra. It resonates to the color blue, anything blue, a blue stone, a scarf. You know, today I'm wearing my lapis here next to my throat chakra. There's also essential oils, and I oftentimes, if people have the throat chakra stuff going on, I'll make an oil with essential oils and they rub on the throat chakra every day, just to keep it balanced. And so, yeah, that's
I
throat
find
chakra.
this so interesting.
It is, it's interesting because
really
we're not
is.
only physical beings, we're energetic beings, and everything
Oh, absolutely,
energetic
yeah.
affects us physically.
Right.
And so it's, you know, it helps, it's very insightful when you're trying to help people and their journeys to healing. So
Right. I agree. I totally agree. I think I did say that we're closing off our head segment today, but I feel like there's so much more like in the neck that we can talk about, like adrenal glands, adenoids, thyroids.
well, thyroid, the adrenals are down by the kidneys, but
Right, sorry. But I feel like there's so much that we can talk about for another segment.
you guys want to do thyroid next time?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can
I
go.
think so. I think so.
cool?
I feel like we did for anybody that just wants like a quick video on it, we did discuss this when we talked about women's hormones.
Right.
So if you want to just catch a little snippet of it, you can always look back on our hormonal segment. We broke it down to 3. It was like pre-hormones, meaning like getting your period, and then we talked about pregnancy time, and then we talked about menopause. So on the 3rd episode, towards that, when your hormones are really changing, we talked a lot about the thyroid. So yes, please come back and see us again next time on Heal Yourself Naturally. Such a joy to speak to you too. I'm so happy to be back this time around, and we'll see you all on our next show.
Amazing.
Okay, thank you both.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you so much. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Are we still live streaming?
On YouTube.
Oh, wait.
It's